Britain's motorways were young, criminals were faster than ever, and police forces across the country were scrambling for cars that could keep up. The 1960s forced a quiet revolution in British policing, one measured not in headlines, but in horsepower, gearboxes, and the courage of officers behind the wheel. Some cars became legends. Others became warnings. Today on Britain Rewind we count down 10 British police cars that patrolled this extraordinary decade, from humble panda cars to imposing motorway interceptors. And right at number 1, we'll reveal a car whose failure quietly signaled the end of an era. Number 10. Hillman Imp. We begin with a car nobody expected police forces to take seriously. The Hillman Imp arrived in 1963 as Roots Group's answer to the Mini, a small rear-engine saloon built in a brand-new factory in Linwood, Scotland. Its 875cc all-aluminium engine produced around 39 horsepower, hardly the stuff of high-speed chases. But smaller Scottish forces saw something useful in its compact size and tight turning circle for narrow rural roads. In 1967, Dunbartonshire Constabulary purchased 2 Imps for escort duties along the A82, nicknaming them Pinky and Perky after their mismatched blue and white panel scheme. This peculiar livery would later inspire the term panda car across Britain. But there was a hidden flaw. The Imp's aluminium engine was notoriously unreliable in early production, prone to overheating and head gasket failure. Officers loved its agility but dreaded breakdowns on isolated roads. Still, its cultural impact on policing outlasted its mechanical reputation. Next is a car built specifically to patrol the new motorways. Number 9. Ford Anglia 105e. If the Imp proved small cars had a place in policing, the Ford Anglia 105e proved they could also be genuinely reliable. Launched in 1959 and continuing strong into the 1960s, the Anglia's distinctive reverse-raked rear window made it instantly recognizable on Britain's streets. Powered by a 997cc or later 1198cc engine producing around 39 to 48 horsepower, the Anglia wasn't fast, but that was never the point. As panda cars became common from the mid-1960s onward, forces needed something compact, economical, and easy to maintain for everyday patrol work. The Anglia delivered exactly that. Lancashire Constabulary's Chief Constable famously referenced blue and white Anglia panda cars operating in Kirkby in a 1966 newspaper interview, cementing the term in public consciousness. Officers appreciated its dependability, even if criminals rarely feared its top speed. Would you have trusted a car this modest to represent law and order? The next entry offered something far more commanding. Number 8. Vauxhall Cresta PB and PC. Not every police car needed continental flair or racing pedigree. Sometimes brute 6-cylinder muscle from Luton did the job perfectly well. The Vauxhall Cresta, produced through the PB and PC generations during the 1960s, carried a 2.6-litre or later 3.3-litre straight-six engine, producing well over 100 horsepower depending on specification. Traffic patrol officers valued the Cresta for its genuine pace on Britain's growing motorway network, with some forces finding tuned examples capable of outrunning many contemporary rivals in a straight line. Its solid, American-influenced styling gave it an imposing road presence, while its spacious cabin suited long-distance patrol work comfortably. Behind the scenes, though, Vauxhall's General Motors ownership meant the Cresta always competed against homegrown rivals from Ford and BMC for police contracts. Officers who drove it often praised its stability at speed, even as its bulkier proportions made it less nimble through tighter town centre pursuits. This was a car built for the open road, not the back streets, and the entries ahead only grow more dramatic. Number 7. Ford Zephyr Mark II and Mark III. Few cars defined 1960s British policing quite like the Ford Zephyr. Featured prominently when the television drama Z Cars first aired in 1962, the Zephyr's reputation as a police workhorse was already well established by the time the decade began in earnest. The Mark II and later Mark III versions offered 6-cylinder engines ranging up to 2,553 cc, delivering brisk performance that suited the emerging motorway network perfectly. Forces valued its blend of affordability, spaciousness, and genuine pace, qualities that made it a practical choice for everyday response duties rather than a specialist pursuit vehicle. Officers found the Zephyr comfortable during long shifts, with enough room for equipment and colleagues alike. It wasn't the fastest car on this list, but it was arguably one of the most trusted. Its television fame meant the public instantly associated its silhouette with policing itself. But one manufacturer was about to combine police-grade toughness with genuine sports car performance. Number 6. Ford Lotus Cortina. This next entry solved one problem but quietly created another. The Ford Lotus Cortina, born from a remarkable 1963 collaboration between Ford and Lotus, brought genuine performance into police hands. Its twin-cam 1558cc engine, developed by Lotus, produced around 105 horsepower, transforming an ordinary family saloon into something capable of real pursuit work. Certain forces trialed the Lotus Cortina specifically for its ability to match increasingly powerful getaway cars on Britain's growing motorway network. Its lightweight construction and sharp handling made it genuinely enjoyable for officers trained in advanced driving techniques. Yet the same twin-cam engine and lowered suspension that gave it pace also made it more temperamental and costly to maintain than standard Cortinas. Reliability in everyday police service proved inconsistent. Would you have chosen outright speed over dependability? That very question was about to be answered dramatically by the most famous police car of the entire decade. Number 5. Jaguar Mark II. We've reached the midpoint of our countdown, and it's impossible to discuss 1960s British policing without this car. The Jaguar Mark II, launched in 1959 with brilliant timing alongside Britain's first motorways, became the definitive high-speed patrol vehicle of the decade. Available with a 3.8-litre engine producing around 220 horsepower, the Mark II could reach roughly 125 miles per hour, with 0 to 60 arriving in about 8.5 seconds. Forces including Gloucestershire, Kent, and Staffordshire adopted it specifically to counter faster criminals exploiting the new motorway network. Officers who earned advanced driving qualifications were entrusted with these Jaguars, and the car's blend of comfort, power, and prestige made it deeply respected within police garages. Decades later, it found unexpected fame again as Inspector Morse's car on television. But remaining entries promise even more surprising stories, including vehicles far stranger than this celebrated saloon. Number 4. Rover P6 3500. Here's where the story raises its stakes considerably. Rover's P6, introduced in 1963, initially arrived with a 4-cylinder engine, but everything changed once Rover fitted its newly acquired 3.5-litre V8 engine late in the decade, creating the P6 3500. This engine, originally developed by BIC in America before Rover purchased the rights, transformed the P6 into a genuinely rapid police vehicle. Producing around 144 horsepower, it offered effortless acceleration that impressed traffic officers accustomed to slower, heavier saloons. Forces increasingly favored the P6 3500 for motorway patrol work as the decade closed, appreciating its combination of modern unitary construction, disc brakes on all four wheels, and genuine straight-line pace. Officers who drove it often described feeling a noticeable step up in confidence during pursuits. This success foreshadowed something significant. The very engine powering this Rover would soon appear in an even more dominant police car, one that would define the following decade entirely. Number 3. Triumph 2000. Emotional investment deepens here because the Triumph 2000 represented something genuinely important, proof that mid-sized British saloons could rival larger, more expensive rivals in serious police work. Launched in 1963, it featured a 1998cc straight-six engine producing around 90 horsepower, paired with independent rear suspension that gave remarkably composed handling for its era. Several regional forces adopted the Triumph 2000 specifically because it balanced affordability against genuine driving refinement, an increasingly important consideration as police budgets came under scrutiny throughout the decade. Officers praised its smooth ride and confident cornering, qualities not always associated with everyday patrol saloons. Later, the Triumph 2000 gained further recognition through television appearances, extending its association with law enforcement well beyond actual service records. Not every celebrated police car earned its reputation purely through drama, however. The next car's story involves something far darker, a company's declining fortunes playing out through its own products. Number 2. Wolseley 6110. Make no mistake, this next car needed to be extraordinary, because it represents the final chapter of one of Britain's most historically significant police marques. The Wolseley 6110, produced from 1961 until 1968, carried a 2912cc straight-six engine, shared with the Austin Healey 3000 in lower tune, producing around 120 horsepower. London's Metropolitan Police favoured the 6110 as an area car, a step above ordinary patrol vehicles, valuing its comfortable cabin, wood-trimmed dashboard, and dignified presence at the roadside. For decades, Wolseley's had been the default cinematic image of British policing, appearing repeatedly in black and white crime films. But production of the 6110 ended in March 1968, leaving Wolseley without a six-cylinder flagship for the first time in decades. This wasn't simply a model change. It quietly signaled the beginning of the end for an entire Mark's identity within British policing, setting the stage perfectly for our final, most consequential entry. Number 1. Austin 3 Litre. Here it is, the car that earned its place not through triumph, but through warning signs everyone should have noticed. The Austin 3 Litre arrived in 1968 as the intended replacement for the Westminster and Wolseley 6110, sharing that same 2912cc six-cylinder engine and offered to selected police fleets seeking a modern, dignified successor. But the 3 Litre was a commercial disaster. Poor build quality, an unconvincing mix of dated body panels with modern hydroelastic suspension, and lukewarm reviews meant forces largely avoided adopting it in meaningful numbers, unlike its predecessors. Sales collapsed, and production limped on until 1971. This failure arrived at precisely the moment British Leyland was forming, and it became one of the clearest visible symptoms of the mismanagement and misjudged engineering decisions plaguing BMC in its final years. Sometimes the most memorable car isn't the fastest. It's the one that quietly signals everything is about to go wrong. From nimble panda cars to imposing motorway interceptors, the 1960s reshaped British policing entirely, forcing forces to balance affordability, reliability, and raw pace against tightening budgets and changing crime. Some cars, like the Jaguar Mk2, became legends. Others, like the Austin 3 Litre, became cautionary tales. Together they tell the story of an industry at a crossroads, brilliant in places, badly mismanaged in others. Which of these 10 would you have trusted to chase down Britain's most dangerous criminals? If this journey through British motoring history fascinated you, there's plenty more waiting for you only on Britain Rewind.